in the science area, I have a little microscope here that's sort of almost like a toy, but it works really well, that I'm going to set up later today with a class that we're talking about plants, and we're going to look at different structures on different types of plants, from just simple mosses all the way to flowering plants. And we're going to dissect the flower, and they can see through my computer onto their monitor what I'm actually seeing through this. They brought in some flowers that they're going to break down and look at all the little parts.
And I'd like you to explain to me how it is that they're going to see what you show them under that microscope.
Okay, what I have is just like I can show my document camera over the equipment to those guys, I can hit a source button and anything that's on my computer can be shown on their monitor.
Okay.
So I do, sometimes I have some discs that might have some diagrams or whatever on it. I can go to internet sites or anything like that that I might find that have something to do with what we're discussing, and I can put that over. With this is a microscope. It's a simple microscope. It's basically a what do you call it? Magnifier. It only does 10, 60, and 100. And for what we're going to look at today, it's useful and functional. And what's neat about this thing, and it won't work for what I'm doing today, but sometimes you can just take this off and kind of scan. But I mean, it's difficult to what do you call it? Get it to focus.
Right. Okay.
But it'll do for this, and they'll get to see. I have a proper microscope that has a digital camera attached to it, but it's a lot more sophisticated and more complicated to set up.
Okay.
And for what I'm doing today, this one's fine.
Okay, but for more in depth.
Right. If I'm going to look at a slide, if I'm going to look at something that's really microscopic, where I want to go to maybe 500x or even 1000x, I can use that one.
Okay.
And but today, we're just going to look at some flowers, and the parts are really tiny. There's these beautiful pansies out in our yard here, but that's all we have are pansies. So, and their parts are really small, but it'll give us a chance to see something different. Okay. Now, how many of you guys brought flowers? Remember I said bring some flowers for Miss Mosby today?
We're gonna get some at the school. Chad went to get his flowers.
Okay, good. Because when we look at the flowers, I want you to look at the ones that you have. It's not moss. All right, but if you can see my little finger, this is what we talked about. The green parts here are the gametophytes. Now, I've never gone in this close enough to look at. Remember when we look in the book, there's male and female gametophytes, but we can see the sporophytes, as you know, are going to grow out of the female. So if we pull these apart, and I'm going to pull some pieces off and then switch over to the microscope.
Switch it over to the microscope.
All right, are you guys seeing this image?
No. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well it is blurry, but let me try to get it.
Okay, yeah, we see.
Let me try to get it. Okay, this is the sporophyte. Remember, this is the diploid part of the moss, and let me see if I can move it around to where you can see.
We see it good.
Okay, you see this part here, the green part? This is what you see when you see the moss growing on the ground. Remember, this is a haploid gametophyte, but in mosses, this is the more dominant part of its generation. And the only time it's diploid, the only time it has those paired chromosomes, maybe I can find a good one. See, they're empty. And when your squirrels get in your pine trees and you see all this stuff, they're not eating these cones. They're actually eating the seeds that grow down in here because they're full of nutrition. These things here are just wood. Nobody cares. But these, there's one little piece of a seed that the pollen cone. This little bitty thing. So unlike humans, where men are the dominant species, Look how little this guy is compared to those female cones. But again, there's nothing going on here. This is a really immature cone. Now, part of the reason for this, and you think, well, where's all that pollen? The pollination and fertilization of the ovules in conifers takes 3 years. So we see it happening every year, but it's a 3-year process. And so the pollen is going to be produced in this, this male cone flower. Now you guys have some flowers, and I want you to start looking at yours there, because you'll see some differences in the different varieties of flowers, but the structures are all the same. You just, some of them are more reduced. Just look, this is the sepals, the green parts, and then the colored parts are petals. Now the adaptation for colors, can anybody tell me why we have colored petals? Well, that's why we do it, but why does the flower have the different colored petals? To attract something, that's right, to attract pollinators. Different bees have, their eyes are tuned into certain color, so the different varieties of bees and stuff will be attracted to different colored flowers. And it's an advantage for everybody, because if a bee has an eye that it can only see yellow, it's going to go for the yellow flowers, and another bee could be in the same field pollinating all the red flowers, and they're not competing with each other for resources. But that's the only purpose for flowers, is to attract pollinators, and then of course to give to your wives when they're mad at you. But other than that, what the flowers' purpose was to attract pollinators. So I'm going to start breaking this apart and see if we can see the stamens and the carpels in here.
What school is this?
High School.
And where's that located, guys?
Arkansas. Southeast.
Southeast Arkansas?
Yeah.
Great. And what class is this that you're in right now?
Pre-AP biology.
Pre-AP biology. Wow, you guys are smart, because I thought biology was hard. Do y'all like biology?
Yeah. We love it.
And how do you guys feel about taking pre-AP biology via distance ed?
It's nice.
It's different.
It's different, but do you guys still find that you're learning the material?
Yes.
Are y'all going to take AP biology next year?
Maybe.
Depending on how you do in this class?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Is that class distance ed as well?
No. Yes, it is, Miss Ham.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
Miss Ham. Oh, I've heard about Miss Ham. Does she come and have experiments with you guys on site?
She's coming tomorrow.
Is she coming tomorrow? Is that fun when she comes and does on-site experiments?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Marshmallows we did.
Well, cool. So you guys get to do your experiments. Someone from distance ed comes out and does labs with you in your school.
Yes.
Fun. What's your favorite part of this class?
Mr. Arce.
He do keep us laughing.
He's a great instructor, isn't he?
Yes.
All right, great guys. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed meeting you guys. It seems like it's a really fun class. I enjoyed my time here. Thank you.